Guys, in August is actually July in the the lunar calendar, however you like to call it. And I can't help but to notice that you smell a lot of like burning stuff, incense. And it's quite common in the Chinese tradition. But I think for the Hungry Ghost Festival, one thing I wanted to show you guys is it's not like your Halloween. It's not like the Western Halloween. And that's why I want to show you. Hi! Okay, let me show you. So with the Hungry Ghost Festival, you will actually see that in my previous live streams on the sidewalk, sometimes you see that people are burning incense, they put food tributes, and they actually burn some goodies that's for the deceased. So from my knowledge, the Hungry Ghost Festival is when they come up from hell or wherever they are to come to this world to revisit. But it's not like the celebration of life that you would see in South America. It's not like that. It's actually a lot creepier in Asia. So supposedly the elders would tell you don't hang out late at night because there's a lot of stuff that's going on for people who's low on energy, that they might get possessed. So I can't help but to notice that there's this here. They have it in a lot of the local parks, coliseums, community spaces. And what happens is that they have these things that look like Chinese opera. This might be near the end right now, I'm not sure. But what happens is that they have these performances. And you see that there's no audiences. Very little, by the way. And this is for public and people to go to see what are some of the performances that they have for the deceased. Let me see. I think they actually take on different forms. Some of them are, oh, I can smell the incense. It's really bad. All good. So I'm trying to find a way to go inside. And what happens is that if you're a foreigner, you will not know what these performances are for. But a lot of them are actually tributes and offerings for the deceased. Ugh. Of course, I guess now they have people to attend, but I think traditionally, if I remember correctly, some of these performances don't have humans watching. It's actually, so on the wall here, so 普渡男性會. I think whenever I see that word, that means that's something to do with the deceased. 普渡金章, so something to do with 普渡 is when you transfer people, was when you actually help people go to the afterlife, isn't it? So I guess these are people who actually made donations, so their names would be here. So number one, this guy donated $20,000, and then some people donate a few hundred, so you would have your name here. But I'm not particularly too familiar with this tradition, so I'm learning as much as you guys are. So see, the music that you hear right now, it sounds kind of like the kind of music that you would hear in a Chinese funeral. Eugene, 馬來西亞疫情影響好冷清。Celebrity situations in hand today. Yep. Cup of tea right now. Okay, so this is like bye. So the incense, see the ones like that up there? I'm trying to show you guys. These ones. Wait a minute. If you look at these ones basically burn forever because they go around in a circle. And I think they're like 長壽香, meaning that they're supposed to signify longevity or something, I think. Hi. And see, you have some of the really big incense as well. These ones actually take forever to burn. And I have to ask and see what this is all about. But see, usually when you have white lanterns, in a Chinese funeral, you would see white lanterns. But I don't know what that actually means now, but it's because it's, to do with what is it? It's like the Hungry Ghost Festival, right? I don't know what this signifies either. If you guys know, please let me know. The pair of scissors, the rice, the charcoal, there's some sort of Chinese style biscuits, a mirror, I don't know what that means. And see, as you can see, this is probably signifying the traditional performances that I saw as a kid. So these people would be in a mask that you see. If you see like these performers in here, they're wearing a mask. And if you ask me, seeing it as a kid is kind of scary. And yeah, and I think that's the kind of performances that I saw as a kid, that there's no people that's actually watching. See, some of these things that you actually see, actually, I find this a bit freaky. Yeah. So for some of these things, I think it's in some of the stuff here that they used to make the lanterns, it's made from the same stuff that they would burn to the deceased. Yeah, as nice as it is that they fold it into these, I believe that these things are actually for burning. Yeah. I guess this is some of the tributes as well. I don't know, I really don't know what it signifies. This is like sticky rice balls. I think that's what we use for dessert. See, the weird thing is you would have white lanterns, but you would have red themes. So these two things are contradicting in real life. I don't actually know what that means. So I guess maybe, my guess is that you're supposed to have the offerings and the rituals for the hungry ghost that comes up. And that's so that when you pacify them, you, in exchange, get peace and safety. Because on these lanterns, it says合境平安, like everyone stays safe. See, even the guys that are doing the ritual right now, they remind me a lot of the people that would be chanting in a funeral. It is, but if you're of Chinese descent, you would think that this is kind of related to a funeral for some reason. I don't know why that is. Oh, well, the flies are benefiting, I could tell you that already. Fa choy. So fa choy is actually looks like hair. A lot of Westerners always refuse to eat it. This is actually found in the desert. It's called fa choy, the hair vegetable, but it's not. It's actually a seaweed. We stop eating those because it's bad for the environment. When you take these from the desert actually decays or erodes very fast. The ones that they sell now, corn husk. So these food that you're finished using for tributes, in Hong Kong, we don't eat them anymore. It's said to be tasted by the hungry ghosts, and we don't eat them as humans. Whereas in Taiwan, sometimes after you do bye-bye, they still eat them. I don't know if they do for the Hungry Ghost Festival, but they do for the rituals. They open the gates of hell, permitting ghosts to receive food and drink. Thank you. Ward off appease the evil spirits. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, guys. 超度誦經. So 超度meaning to assist people to go to the afterworld after they die. Yeah, this is the chants that they do. Yeah, some Chinese vegetarian, they go vegetarian this month. So Chinese, they go vegetarian, meaning you 積福 meaning that they don't kill animals for this month. They go vegetarian, and that way they build some sort of karma or brownie points. Speaking of, tomorrow I'm going to the Big Buddha with Holly, my best friend, and we're gonna go eat some vegetarian food there tomorrow. So that's gonna happen tomorrow in the morning. So at about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Hong Kong time, so that's about 10 or 11 New York time. I'll be doing that live stream tomorrow with my friend Holly. So you're gonna see some of this ritual and some of the traditions. It's very traditional Chinese stuff. I don't even know a lot of this stuff. See, some of the material that these things are made of, again, is very similar to the stuff that you burn to the dead. But if you actually look at it, I think Holly probably knows more than I do. Yes, it's in Lantau Island. What time? So in about 13 hours from now, let's just say. And I think she probably have better knowledge of these things than me. So these things are kind of like goodie bags, and you write the names of your ancestors, last names and stuff, and it contains good clothing, watches, new gadgets for the house, and it's all made in paper. They burn it in the Chinese tradition. If you burn it, they can receive it. So I guess these are supposed to be the entertainment that's for them, I guess. Gatekeeper of Spirit Realm opens the gates underworld beginning of the month. England time. Okay, so it's just about 13 hours from now. Yeah. 15th day designated as a festival day. Yep, 2 weeks of activity. The last time I went to the abandoned apartment in Malaysia with Buddy, if you guys watched that video, I went on the day of the day of the Hungry Ghost Festival. So this Thursday, I'm supposed to go urban exploration with Wendy. We might have to call that off because it's not good to go during days like that, unless you want to get possessed. Front row seat, yep. Do they reserve? They reserve the front row seats. We'll take a look. So usually in these performances, the first row is empty, or the first few rows. Sometimes the whole venue is empty. And the only people that should be watching are the good brothers, meaning the hungry ghosts. And this is one of the places where I won't get copyright strike for having music. This is traditional Chinese opera. The musical instrument that they use is, I think, similar to the ones that they use in a Chinese funeral. Holly is going to go with me. Okay. It's very noisy. And if you guys look at this, I think this guy must be the guardian of hell, isn't he? 大師物類出生天，觀音良慈悲為懷，普渡群倫離苦海. Oh my God, that is so hard to translate. So basically, this is a rescuer, saving us from pain and from misery. With his good gracious help. I don't know. Speaking to Zhao, yeah. But if you look at his face is dark. He doesn't look like a celebratory figure. Oh, so this is Guan Yin. So Guan Yin is actually one of the gods. I think in Buddhism or something alike. So Guan Yin is she's said to be female, but she takes on many different forms. This is actually one of her forms. The opera goes on for hours, correct. So more tributes. You know, since I was a kid, I always liked the smell of burning incense. But if you look at this is actually like really high up. This is like 2 stories high. And I don't know if you guys can see, but on her forehead, there's somebody on her forehead. Do you see it? It must have signified something. It's like a female, like in a white dress. So more of the stuff that they're burning on the floor. So be careful not to trip over it. So there's somebody that's chanting. Something about the lotus pool. So there's a guy that's I think he's chanting Yu. I don't know what those things individually are behind him. I guess it's for the believers to offer. Yeah, they look great, but this festival is very different. Let me see. Oh, 靈位啊. So these are basically some of the people who are deceased, and people are offering tributes like M&M and Skittles. Yeah, so these are supposed to be signifying the gravestones of somebody. And sometimes when you see names, husbands and wives, may these people rest in peace, and I'm sure they will, because this guy's doing a very good job with his job. So yeah, this is it's pretty quiet here. I think it has to do with the pandemic. But again, I mean, you guys could probably research more of this than I could explain online, because I don't know much about this, but I just thought it's a pretty interesting experience. See those guys that was wearing the white at the back, that's chanting? Tribute for people who pass away, correct. So that looks like their outfit. And if you actually look at what they wear, there's a lot of cranes. I think cranes signify longevity. So you see a lot of I guess in a way it's kind of like celebration for life. Celebration of life, just in a different way. Dragons in the Chinese culture actually signifies power. It's actually it's a sign of protection. And I know in the Western culture it's an evil character, but not in the Chinese culture. So if you look at these intricate items that they've made, it's actually quite interesting. I think that's Sao Yi. Oh, is that Sao Yi? Yeah, the white one. The uniforms or the clothes that people wear when they're laying in their coffin after they pass away. But you can tell, like, you know, the style of clothing is actually still from ancient times. We don't, obviously, we don't have people, you know. Hey, Signet Starscream. So even the shoes are kind of like from the back in the days, but this is made of paper, is for burning. But not scary at all, actually. I've never walked into one of these. Quite special. And Tai Sui Ye, I think that's, Tai Sui Ye is somebody that you actually pay respect to multiple times a year. So basically, for people who's born on a certain year, in certain years you're supposed to have bad luck or something, and you're supposed to pay respect to this guy. And this is an incinerator for the tributes. So different types of tribute for different types of gods, obviously. 當年歲陽信大將軍. So this god was used to be a general, I guess. Is that why he can protect the people, like when they pay respects to him? Collision course, was I? Sorry. So if you actually see like the paper, it's actually very colorful, but I start to wonder when they burn it, does it release carcinogens? And I remember my auntie, who's Buddhist, during Chinese festivities or whatever, or related religion holidays, she would fold these from the tributes that they're supposed to burn, and it becomes like a nice thing. This is like a lotus, I think. This festival, so in each community, they actually do have one of these set up, and I think they have one in each district. Yeah, so this one is in near Olympic Station. Wow, these incense are really big. This is like the size of my waist. This is like, wow, these incense. How long does it take for it to burn? And it's very nicely done. If you see, look at it. It's like a dragon that's carved on there. And yeah, this will take forever to burn. And I think the setup, oh, I almost burned myself by standing next to the incense. Ooh. Okay, so they have the fire extinguishers ready in case stuff happens. Now, if you guys know who's Bao Tingting, there's used to be like, well, I guess he's kind of like a judge in a way, right? So what happens is that there's a place where if people have injustice or some disputes, they'll go to this place and you'll see these signs that says, hey, you should be quiet, you know, you should be solemn, whatever. And I think this is supposed to be one of the weapons back then. So when you have some sort of disputes in there, in Bao Qingtian or Bao Qingtian, they're supposed to judge and see what's going on. You guys are kneeling there, and he's got the guards. And this is actually the setup that they have. Yeah, well, the giant incense, now it's a fenced-off area, so that's safer. In Hong Kong, we do have, before the pandemic, there's some places where they're so crowded and people get burned from incense. Hey, Curdy. And I think there's one more. I think there's a horse god of some sort. Don't ask me what the god is for. Yeah, so tomorrow I am going to go to part 2, and so if you guys want to see my live stream, it's going to happen in about 13 hours. So this is a horse god, obviously, and yeah, so his tributes, of course, have a lot of veggies, 通菜, veggies, rice vermicelli, it's got bananas, really giant incense. Wow, they really beautifully decorated this horse. Yeah, I don't know the background about the horse god, but he seems to be very happy, and he's got veggies in his mouth. Are believed to ancestors those who, the ghosts are believed to be ancestors of those who've got to pay tribute after they die. And the horse was never given proper ritual send off. Really? "13 hours from now, approximately." It is very colorful, but as I say, if you're of Asian descent, you'll see that some motifs here are not exactly like happy. Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of live streams because it's less hot. Yeah, when it's too hot, I just can't do live streams, you guys. So yeah, that's it, you guys. I just wanted to show you guys the Hungry Ghost Festival, part 1. And tomorrow, because I have to wake up early tomorrow, so yeah, I'm just gonna wrap up and then gonna get ready, get some food, and tomorrow I gotta wake up early. Okay, see the incinerator? Crazy, huh? Okay, yes, I'm still streaming. But I'm gonna let you guys go now, so I'm gonna get some food. I'll see you guys. For the Hungry Ghost Festival, just some of the traditions and the festivities, going for some vegetarian food. Chinese vegetarian food is very different. It's not healthy. And yeah, I'm gonna learn it with you guys because I've never been to one. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. All good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It's a once in a year life experience, a festival experience. It's my first experience in my life to walk into one of these. So yeah, hope you guys liked it.